Man, this show has been incredible so far. Genuinely been thrilled with how well done The Last of Us TV series has been, how faithful it's been, and even when they've changed things, it's almost always for the better or just to make it a little bit more interesting for TV. It's been so refreshing to just be able to watch a video game adaptation and have it feel like the video game and be done well with great acting, great writing, great cinematography. Just all around, it's been incredible. But I want to talk lately about this most recent episode just for a few reasons. One, because I was right, kinda. But two, just giving it some thoughts on how well done it is, and then also sharing a fear I have for this upcoming finale. So let's dive into it. So first, I just like to say that I was right, about Troy Baker and the character he was playing. So for the longest time, I had this theory that I still kind of wish happened, where Troy was going to play David from the video game, and that he was actually going to be the bad guy of the TV show, because as fans you would see his face and you'd be like, it's Troy, and then you'd realize, and because that's kind of what Ellie goes through, where initially she meets this guy and she's like, oh, okay, maybe this is someone I can trust, and then you realize, oh no, this guy's a bad guy. But ultimately they didn't go in that direction. Instead, what they did was they made him essentially like I was almost right, where they made him like David's right hand guy, and he killed it, man. To see them give a video game actor who played such a massive role in the video game this opportunity to get on screen and to be able to be a part of this property in live action was super cool. It's something they didn't have to do. They could have totally not even had them in there. And like Troy said, he thought he would just play a clicker and that would be like his part in the show. But for them to give him like this beefy part and have him show off his acting chops and have him show up was super cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing Ashley Johnson in the next episode, who I still think is Ellie's mom, and we'll probably get a flashback scene of her playing Ellie's mom, like they've kind of had the flashbacks at the beginning of episodes for a few of them. I think we'll see that again next episode, but we'll have to wait and see. And then secondly, I just want to share how not just this episode, but this whole show has been so faithful. To see them adapt this storyline and have it be honestly like almost beat for beat exactly like the game, except for that they added in a few more interesting things. Like they added in this guy kind of pretending to be a pastor to try to bring people along, and that they were eating people, but they weren't letting most people know that was going on, and all these just making the world bigger of The Last of Us and expanding on these stories was really cool to see how well done it was. Just the acting, man. Bella Ramsey killed it in this episode. So did Pedro. Like, honestly, and the guy who played David, I don't know the actor's name, but he crushed it. Genuinely, just all around. This episode was so well done, and is again another example of how HBO has been faithfully giving the fans what they want, but then also tweaking it so that new fans can come into this experience and have it be like this revolutionary show, in the sense that what the game was for video games, the show is being for TV. And so it's super cool just to see them faithfully do this stuff again and again and again. But lastly, I just kind of want to comment on this and my fear. And I was talking to some friends and they're feeling the same way. I don't know how they do this season finale and it doesn't feel rushed. It really freaks me out. I hope that the season finale is like the first episode, where it's an extended episode where it's like an hour and 20 minutes or maybe even in the 2-hour range, because there's so much left from the game and important beats that I don't know how you do that in an hour without it feeling rushed. And even for this episode, and that's kind of been the downfall of this show, if I had to pick one nitpick, if I had to, it is the reality, but it's also the story that was given. But it is the reality that every episode is kind of like the flavor of the week. So you know how back in TV shows like Smallville, for example, and TV eventually shifted away from this, where you would have like the new thing your character is doing for this week, and then the next episode would be a completely different, unrelated story, and so on and so on. That's kind of what the show can kind of feel like sometimes, because they just take these chunks from the games that were longer and just break them down into this tiny little chunk. And so if I had to make an insane nitpick, that would be the nitpick that I have, is that sometimes it does feel very like flavor of the week kind of thing, which I know season 2 won't, because it's just a totally different story, and has like a villain that's throughout the entire season. But even in this episode, like I was saying, it did feel mildly rushed compared to the game, where it's so interesting that I wonder what this is like to watch for someone who doesn't know the game. Because to me, for this episode, it was adapted so incredibly well, but I almost wish it was an hour instead of 50 minutes, where it just felt like an extra 10 minutes would have given it more room to breathe and let me feel the stakes a little bit more. Or even if they were able to kind of split this episode up into two parts, where this first episode is Ellie being introduced to David and then being captured and taken and seeing his colony and all those different things. And then it ends with Joel waking up, and then the next episode is Joel going out, finding Ellie, and her having her kind of like final battle with David. And those are kind of two separate episodes. That would have been what I thought would have been a nice way to do it. But needless to say, it does make me a little bit worried about this finale. With things like seeing how Ellie has changed and she's not the same person after she kills David, with seeing the giraffe scene and giving that space and time for Joel to watch her childhood walk away, giving them space to go and run into that impossible situation where it seems like Ellie's gonna die, and then they run into the Fireflies accidentally, and then giving them space to have Joel realize what's going on, what the Fireflies are gonna do, and be able to have that action set piece of him just killing everybody, and then to be given the space to have that conclusion and that cliffhanger of, okay, what's gonna happen here? Does she actually believe him? Does she not believe him? What's gonna happen in their relationship? And it kind of ending on that note. I'm just really intrigued to see if it feels rushed, or maybe this episode's extended, because it does make me worried that this ending is going to feel rushed. I really hope it doesn't, and so far they've done a great job, so I'm not too worried, but there is this fear in the back of my mind of like, wow, I really hope this ending ends well. And it'll be interesting to see how people who haven't played the video game react to the ending, because I wonder if for some it'll feel like anticlimactic, where you're like, wait, that's it? That it's over? Like, wait, what? It'll be interesting to see what people do in the end, but I can't wait for it. But with all that being said, I want to know what you guys think. Leave me your comments in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Looking forward to next week. I can't wait for the finale, and we will definitely be talking about it. So see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, all that junk, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.